Good morning. I am Chaplain Rhonda Good, and thank you, Charlotte Lefevre, for playing organ for us this morning. And after my devotional, Charlotte will play the hymn, "Till the Storm Passes By." In the dark of the midnight have I oft hid my face, while the storm howls above me, and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. When I chose this song last week, I had a different topic in my mind for today. But of the four songs that I chose, this one got stuck on repeat in my head. So perhaps it was in my head because I was actually hoping for some storms that would bring rain. As we all know and can see, the last few weeks, Lancaster and many other areas have experienced much hot and dry weather. We have been waiting for good rain. Last week, our family was vacationing in Delaware, where the soil is sandy and doesn't hold the moisture. As we drove around, we could easily see which farms irrigated their corn and which did not. And unless they got some rain in the last few days, I imagine many farmers in Delaware will not have successful corn crops. And there are places in Lancaster County experiencing a similar situation. Several times in the last few weeks when I was here at Landis Homes, we had a nice rain shower. But each time I went home to Landisville, only to discover that we had little or no rain. And the last few nights, the meteorologists have been predicting storms, but they just don't come, at least not to our area. It is not often that we so desperately want a storm to come through, but we know that a storm would bring much-needed rain and possibly some relief from the heat that continues to scorch the grass and the crops and the field. And I need to add that last night, we didn't have a storm, but we actually did have a lot of rain at our house. We had 4/10 of an inch, and we were very grateful for that, and we are hoping for more tomorrow. So singing this song over and over in my head and thinking about our desperate need for rain led me to think about times in the Bible when storms or rain were a major part of a story, and thus my change in topics for TV devotions. These are well-known stories, and there is so much to be said about each story. I don't want to trivialize the vast significance and meaning of these stories, which is way beyond what I could cover in one devotional. But for this morning, let's look at these well-known stories again and consider where God was during these storms or floods. So, of course, the first one is the story of Noah and his family. I think it is impossible for our 21st century minds to fathom what that situation was like. To spend all that time preparing a large ark to hold animals and your family, to realize then you are the only people left on earth, to see it rain day after day, week after week. Genesis 8:1 says, "But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded." Now that feels like kind of a short anticlimactic statement after such a story, but in Genesis 9, we read about the significant covenant that God established with Noah and his family and his descendants and with all the living creatures in the ark. God said, "Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth." And then God set the rainbow in the clouds as a sign of the covenant. Another well-known storm story is the story of Jonah. Jonah got on a ship in his attempt to flee from God. Of course, we know it is not possible to flee from God. God is always with us, whether or not we want him there. Jonah 1, 4-6 says, "Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God, and they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, 'How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us so that we will not perish.' The sea was getting rougher and rougher, so they asked him, 'What should we do to make this sea calm down for us?' 'Pick me up and throw me in the sea,' he replied, 'and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you.' Instead, the men did their best to row back to land, but they could not, for the sea grew even wilder than before. Then they cried out to the Lord, 'Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man, for you, Lord, have done as you pleased.' Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. At this, the men greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him." And of course, we know God provided a way out for Jonah. So despite Jonah's attempts to run from God, God was with him in the storm and provided a way for Jonah's life to be saved, as well as the lives of the other men on the ship. In Mark 4:35-41, we read the story of Jesus in the boat with the disciples. That day, when evening came, he said to the disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Once again, God, in the human form of Jesus, was with the disciples. He was with them literally, and he was also able to calm the storm that was terrifying them. I don't know about you, but many times I am a bit like the disciples as I make my way through the storms of life. So often, my first reaction is fear. How will I get through this? What if this happens or that happens? In this story in Mark, Jesus is completely calm. He knows that he has power over the winds and waves, and he has the power to bring peace. And today I want to remind each of us that we can have faith and trust that Jesus can bring us peace in the midst of our storms. Although our external situations or storms might not resolve quickly, Jesus wants us to trust him and allow him to calm the storm within. Before he died, Jesus gave the promise of peace to his disciples in John 14:27. He said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." And we too can have that peace, not a peace that the world can give, but a deeper peace that is only found in Jesus. And for a closing prayer, I will read the second verse and chorus of the hymn, "Till the Storm Passes By," and then Charlotte will play it. Many times Satan whispers, "There is no need to try, for there's no end of sorrow. There's no hope by and by. But I know thou art with me, and tomorrow I'll rise, where the storm never darkens the skies, till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by."